again, it's on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Listen, it's my favorite show. This is my favorite show. I used to watch another show for like a decade plus on the internet, and I got used to it, and I yearned for it every week, and now I can't watch it anymore for silly reasons, for silly human reasons. But
Silly rabbits and
this
tricks of kids.
has become my favorite show.
You look like you lose.
Opinion Nation with your favorite panelist, your man's TTT. That's not true. Hassan McCullough, the
What up?
professor Kendo Mickens, and your man from Saturn, who's also mean, Cronus the Ill. Yeah. Now, you know, we got a couple other cats that be regulars with us. They might be trickling in, but we here right now, and we're gonna get it started
Right.
We're gonna get it started right, but in respect to the recent, what y'all call holiday. Did everyone have a great 4th of July? Kenny, did you have a great 4th of July?
Yes, I definitely observed a day off.
Oh, I ain't mad at that. Cronus, did you have a great 4th, a great Independence Day?
I mean, it was just,
No, you good.
regular Tuesday, you know what I'm saying? Woke up, went to the gym, then, seen my went to the gym, got my cut, then, seen my folks. That was it.
Okay, now when you say got your cut, you got a baldy, so okay.
This nigga.
Hassan McCullough. Did you have a good 4th of July, brother? Did you observe your independence yesterday?
I had a good Tuesday.
Oh.
Yeah.
You and Cronus sharing answers.
I'm not into celebrating pagan ritualistic holidays to siphon my energy.
See, you always come. What you mean pagan? Who is pagan? Is that a chick from North Philly? Who is that?
Hey, listen. If you don't understand, everything's about siphoning energy. Okay. So it's all about energy.
Okay.
And they siphon all these people celebrating these holidays. It's about them siphoning all the people's energy.
You're saying siphoning their energy.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, listen, that is today's topic, Kendo. Today's topic is independence. Okay, so yesterday, this country, the United States of America is what they call it officially.
United States of America.
They celebrated their independence, Hassan, and a lot of people feel, very proud on the 4th of July. I want to go to Kendo Mickens because, I understand Kendo. Kendo's like a day off. I'm taking it. I get it. But Kendo, what does independence mean to you? Are you independent?
Independent of what?
Right. Well, shit, what you got? I mean, come on.
When you say independent, I mean...
Are you independent? You celebrated independence yesterday. Are you independent?
No, I depend on a lot of things. I depend on me. I depend on my wife.
Yes.
I depend on my sanity.
Yes.
So, am I independent? No.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. Yeah, I agree. I'm not independent either. Yet we celebrate independence yesterday. We're gonna circle back. We're gonna get down to it. Cronus, are you independent?
Independent of what?
Now, the question is the answer, but you can't answer a question with a question. That's facts. So do me a favor. Answer my question.
All right. What's your question?
Well, my question is, are you independent?
Nah, because I depend on quite a few things.
That's a grown-up answer. I listen, that's a grown-up answer. I mean, we're gonna circle back. Hassan, TTT, Mr. That's Not True. Are you independent?
I was gonna go down, then I said, what if I go down and he tells me that?
Ask that white woman. Ask that white woman if she's independent. Ask that European
woman. Are you
woman.
independent? Are you independent, white woman? She's not white, actually.
Okay. Ask that woman if she's independent.
Are you
independent?
independent?
A roving man in the forest.
Get that man shot.
Listen, I am independent, but at the same time, I am not independent.
So you're a contradiction, is what you are. You're
I
not
am
independent or dependent. You're a contradiction. Stop playing. Are you independent or not?
Well, you know, I'm not independent, okay? Because I live in a nation where I have a president, I have a mayor, I have teachers. I'm not able to live on my own. I have to go to the grocery store. I don't make my own food. So, no, I am not independent, okay?
Okay.
You understand? I ain't growing my food. You know, I'm not living off the land free. So, I'm not independent.
Yeah, that's the right answer. At the end of the day,
You know,
how can any of us be living in the city and be independent? I mean, how does that work? Where you get your groceries? Where you get your groceries? Where you get your, I don't know. Like the whole quite frankly, it's so ironic that we celebrate
water
independence. We celebrate independence, but yet really the strongest thing we have is dependence, meaning no man is an island, is he? Like,
No.
So independence is kind of a funny thing because I don't think we live long with independence, with true independence. Yo, Chris, why is independence preferred? Why is there such a light shined upon being on your own? I do it by myself. I don't need no man. I do this by myself. I'm independent. I'm a strong, independent woman. Why is there so much emphasis on being alone when literally the strongest of us need other people?
That's them people that got something to prove to themselves, I guess, or or to other people. It's like you say it, but who you fooling? Who you fooling? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you dependent on your respiratory
Air.
system. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You know what I mean? Let the air say, all right, I ain't gonna work for you.
Problematic.
For a little bit. You know what I mean? Cats got sleep apnea. So, you know what I mean?
Oh,
when you like you kind of dependent on,
the next breath.
The next breath in your sleep. You know what I mean? So once you start breathing in your sleep, your brain it jump and it forces you to breathe. So you're dependent on something.
Yeah. Yep. That would sound about right to me. Hassan, can you hear thee? McCullough, TTT. Are you training at the moment? Can you ask you gotta unmute yourself. Ask the European woman if you're allowed to be independent for a moment. Unmute yourself. Please unmute. You gotta unmute, bro. Unmute. Okay, Kenny.
I got to it, man.
So Hassan, I've been asking you to unmute for the past 30 seconds. So, okay. Could you ask the European woman if she's independent? I'm just curious as to her stance.
Claudia, Don wants to know, are you independent?
Put the camera on.
Hold on. That's what. Miss Claudia. Miss Claudia. Are you independent?
Not like Miss Daisy.
Miss Daisy.
That's like Miss Daisy. Call her Miss Daisy. Say, Miss Daisy, are you independent?
Is he with that woman?
Yeah. Yes, he's training her. He called her Miss Daisy or Miss Claudia. Go ahead,
Hassan. That woman.
Hey, listen.
Yeah, here we go.
They want to know if you're independent. She said you.
Oh. Well, she ain't got to be on camera. Just ask her if she's independent.
I asked her. She said there's more layers to that.
Oh.
That's what I'm about to get into.
Okay. Well, thank you, Hassan.
Even though we celebrated Independence Day yesterday, we're not independent.
It's an ironic thing. Kenny, what do you think?
America owns us. America owns us.
Well, let's put it this way.
We're all slaves.
There's a difference between being independent and celebrating liberty and freedom.
Celebrating what?
But we're not free either.
Celebrating what?
liberty and freedom.
That's
that
what
we
niggas were celebrating yesterday. Liberty and freedom. Niggas were
Some people
celebrating
did.
liberty and freedom yesterday.
Some people do.
By
Some
busting
people.
firecrackers.
Some people erroneous. However you celebrate is how you choose to celebrate it. I don't knock nobody conformity, but what I say is, I don't know if we can celebrate. You know, every year they put that the speech by Frederick Douglass
Uh-oh.
when he asked, you know, what is
What is the
freedom?
4th of July to me?
Huh?
What is the 4th of July to a
What is the
Negro?
4th of July to me? You know, the irony of the irony of fighting for independence from England
Meanwhile,
while enslaving someone, the irony can't be looked
Prisoners of
over.
war.
it's schizophrenic. It's mental. It's whacked out. It's psychotic. It's barbaric. It's a lie. It's a lie.
Give me liberty or give me death, except for y'all.
Except for y'all.
I won't stand to be knuckled under, except for y'all.
Except for y'all.
I won't take you telling me what to do and taxing me.
Except for y'all.
So
Preach, Pastor. Preach, Pastor.
it really is an irony and a whole lot of, like you said, schizophrenia when you fighting for independence while enslaving someone. That's
deep. It is the height of hypocrisy, is what it is.
But the thing
more than the
is,
height of-
you say it's hypocrisy, but the thing is, you know, we're not independent from the Queen and stuff. They still run America.
Talk about it.
Do
You
understand this? They never got independent from. They never got independent.
Hold up, Hassan. Let's break it down.
fucking
Wait a
England.
minute. Let me see if I know what you're talking about. Do you mean how this country has a president, but most indigenous lands usually have a queen and a king because that's
Yes.
culture? And you're saying how this country is a company because it has a president and that the queen really still owns this. Is that what you said? Are you saying?
Yes, I just definitely said
And
that.
are you saying that the
People
court
don't know that.
systems? Are you saying that the court systems have allegiance to the queen? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, because you
All
can
those-
also look that up, and you ain't got to believe nobody on Opinion Nation. You can Google and
Nope,
search for
you can
yourself.
Google that and search that
Oh.
yourself.
Oh my goodness, it's crazy out here like that. So you're saying independence is an illusion from the gate because this country is owned by the queen.
Or by her son now.
Oh, now where you get that information from? Now how you just gonna say we are independent from Britain? What do you mean? We had a whole war. Oh, wait a minute.
two
Are you
wars.
saying that wars are all
Yeah, 2
calculated? And if you're in the army and you get paid to kill people, that's not really a war. A war is like
No.
11th Street versus Kamak Street. A war is 12th Street versus Kamak Street. That's a war. If me and you and Elmer are getting paid to go fight some people, that is corporate structure, is what that is, Kenny. I'm just saying. If we had a block war, if we needed to battle JMF, then FBI, we did that as Sound Systems. Okay, we battled. We had a war. You understand me?
You battled through sound systems.
But we didn't, nobody paid it. Well, yeah, we might have got paid by people. But the point is, that was a real war. Vietnam was not a real war. You paid people to kill other people. That's a corporate takeover. We need to really understand what war is. 9/11 didn't produce a real war. As a matter of fact, we know now that there were no weapons of mass destruction at all. And Osama bin Laden didn't live in Iraq.
Oh,
So what the fuck were you in Iraq for? You see? Independence is a great illusion, it seems. Chris? Now, everybody's been pretty much truthful. You know what I mean? Just being like, nah, it ain't no real independence because we got to depend on air at the very least. But Hassan, obviously, got a little different ideas. Chris, how can we be more independent? We celebrating independence like it's the thing to be. How do we get to independence if we got to go to work every morning?
It ain't possible.
Oh, damn.
Because I mean, at the
This
end
grown
of
up
the
talk
day,
right here.
at the end of the day, the age old quote is if you don't work, you
You don't
don't eat.
You don't eat.
So I mean, like I gotta depend on work, whether it be,
Knocking a
my
nigga over the head
yeah, what I mean, whether it be, whooping
or
somebody
selective
upside the head.
conformity. Anything in between.
Exactly, I mean, I gotta depend on it. I gotta depend on waking up so I can get to work, so I can make it home, so I can eat. You know what I mean? I gotta depend. It's a whole lot of things that you gotta depend on. If you don't depend on it, then
It's deep. It's deep.
yeah, man. You know what I'm
To your
saying?
point, don't we depend on that yellow line to keep motherfuckers on the other side of the highway and on the street? We depend on that yellow line to
Yeah,
keep a nigga on the other side.
yeah, yeah.
We would depend on a line, a yellow line. What type of, you don't even know this line. The line can't even talk to you, yet you putting your trust in a yellow line to keep you alive
Right.
at 80 miles per hour. Okay. Kenny, why is dependence not more preferred? Why is dependence not more understood and preferred? Listen, they say no man is an island. So why don't we get the instinct that, wait a minute, we can't do this by ourselves, no matter how big or bad we is. Shaq is a big old buffoon, but Shaq still needed a team to become who he is. Like, he could have been just dunking on people by himself, but that ain't the sport. So he still needed some people around him, Penny Hardaway, and the others. Why isn't dependence more understood and valued? Dependence.
Because people want to say that they're independent. People want to believe I did this. The ego
Ooh,
says I did it. I made it happen. I
ooh,
moved mountains. But
ooh.
the reality of it is we are dependent. We are dependent on a lot of things. When you're talking about a team,
A family.
you laud the best player on that team. But the reality of it is, without those other 4 or other 11, whatever sport you playing, you can't get it done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go silly for a minute. There's only been one entity that played by itself, and that was Bugs Bunny versus the Gas House Gorillas.
Wow.
He played outfield. He played center field.
Wow. If anybody remembers this episode, Bugs was all over the field. You understand me?
But the reality of it is, we do need people. We do need others, whether it be a helpmate, your better half. People got a lot of names for it. We need our jobs, just for the basic necessities.
Yeah.
They're really, when you start talking to independence, is there real independence? No. There's very few people probably in the world that have true independence.
Yeah. And again, you still need air. So you're dependent on something.
Well, if you break it down to
Does
that
air
element,
count though?
Why wouldn't it
You
count?
can't count that though.
Why not?
Okay, well, I guess
What
we
you
can count
mean?
air.
Listen,
gotta-
you
you
can't
gotta
survive.
having clothes, I
You
guess.
can't survive in a vacuum. You must have the essentials, the natural essentials that we need. What is that? Air, sun. Let me see you just get into a box with no air, no light. Let's see how you survive in there. A little raisin.
water.
You're not.
Right. We need water. We need water.
Hydration.
Yeah, there's natural things you have to depend on, but like I said, there's very few people who, like Hassan talked about, grow their own food,
Yeah.
provide their own heat source.
Yeah. Resources.
It's very few people know how to harness those resources and
Facts.
use for their self or use them
Facts.
to continue every day.
Hassan.
Yes, sir.
So why are we so under the spell of independence when clearly we must keep our brother? Like the spell is, the United States spell is, you can do it by yourself. Independence. I live alone. I got my own place. I'm a boss. I'm a boss.
Pull
That
yourself up by your bootstraps.
I brought myself up by my bootstraps. Why is that the spell when we know the reality is that we need each other? That's the reality.
You said why?
Listen,
I can't answer
what
the
is
why.
the spell? Why are they casting the spell that we can be independent of one another when clearly we need one another? Like independence, what are you talking about? I can't be independent. I need my brothers and sisters to survive on this planet. I promise you it's easier with help from my brothers and sisters.
I don't think they mean that though.
What do they mean?
But they just ain't mean it independent from the system. You know, because you definitely need family. You definitely need other people to make things happen in this world. But they're not really talking about that. You know,
what are they talking about? When I say I'm independent, when a woman says I'm an independent boss bitch, what the hell
that
is
means
that?
Nobody's paying her bills. She paying her own bills. You ain't doing shit for her. She paying her own bills.
But how is she
You ain't
paying
gotta buy
bills?
no
Is she
food.
independently wealthy? Does she have a trust fund?
Well, hey,
because she needs something to be independent. Somebody is supporting her independence. No? Like right now, you're doing you have a business, Hassan. Right now, you have a business. I know you have a juice business and you're a trainer. Right now, you're being paid for your services as a trainer. You're dependent on your clientele.
Yes.
So that boss bitch woman, isn't she dependent on wherever she's getting her resources?
Oh, somebody
whether it's OnlyFans,
of course.
Whether it's OnlyFans or Pornhub.
She is definitely dependent on somebody paying her or giving us some
or whether
kickbacks
it's Walmart CEO, whatever she's doing. I ain't trying to say that women can't do nothing besides OnlyFans. I ain't saying that.
Clean that up, champ.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, you know, I'm thinking. I'm a thinker. I ain't. No, I already heard them. I already heard the women in the background. What? What? He always saying what? Exactly. The head. Chris taught me this. When women get to going, boy, their heads be like this. If you ever get a woman mad, watch out for this thing. I know you're talking to me like this.
Don't blame that on me, cuz.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That's Chris's invention. The dilly dally head, the bobble head, that's Chris's invention. Talk to me this way. I'm a woman.
You know, this pandemic that just went by showed a lot of people just how much you do need people.
Great for bringing it up.
Contact.
Oh, hold on. Let me say something about that.
That's not true, Kenny.
About that a lot. Listen, even though these people talk about how much they need you, them motherfuckers pushed you apart because you didn't get no fucking shot. So I don't know if that statement you talking about is true. Because my other family fucking said if you ain't vaccinated, you can't come over for dinner.
That's wild.
Well, you gotta understand.
Come over now, nigga.
You gotta
come over now.
Everybody was in different boats. So let's say you have someone that's older. I know
that's all bullshit.
Where I had family members say, especially older ones, saying, "No, sir, you coming over?"
Yeah, but somebody told them to believe that shit. We know that shit don't fall out of the sky and shit. And all of a sudden, people start falling out of
But do you know?
Out of the sky.
See, here's the thing: you have a theory, but
no,
you can't say
no, for certain, because you know how the body works. You have been seeing the shit. You know that people don't get you sick like that. We have been seeing it for a lot of our lives, and all of a sudden, some fucking boogeyman's out in the sky, and they say the boogeyman's here. You see it? Oh yeah, I see it. That shit don't make sense.
I call it the boogeyman, but when older people was dropping dead,
because they was killing them. They wasn't dropping dead. They were killing them in the hospital. They were killing them. But
what about the ones that didn't make the hospital, though?
Nigga,
like I said, I've known people.
Wait, how the fuck we know they wasn't making it to the hospital? Everything's entertainment.
Well, how do you know they weren't? How do you know that they were killing them? You only got
because I read the documents about the fucking shit. Wuhan documents and all the shit that they had.
So somebody wrote down somebody wrote down everything that happened, and you believed it.
Dude, it's not about me believing. I know it because I know
about
it because
to get you, son. He,
Again, it comes
I
he
down
about to
listen,
pull.
since-
He about to
since-
pull
since-
one of my tactics
since-
out. I know where he's
since
going.
I-
You believe.
since-
You
Since I
believe.
know about health, I know
Ooh.
about health, and I know that what gets you sick is food. Okay,
Okay.
sky ain't gonna. If you're about nature, the sky ain't gonna get you sick. Because if you're a part of nature, how the fuck then water makes you sick? How
Oh.
can wind make you sick?
Well, let me ask you
That
this,
shit don't
Hassan.
matter.
Wait a minute, Hassan. Hold on. While
not
you
wind
there,
and water.
Hassan, if that's the case, why are Europeans adverse to the sun? They here. They on planet Earth. What you mean?
No, but see, they're not adverse to the sun. Okay, to be honest.
Oh.
That listen, based on the foods they eat, the food is the one that affects their skin. Okay, the food affects their skin.
It's not the lack of
'Cause
melanin.
No, because they still have melanin. They can still be out in the sun.
Oh,
Because it's the food that they have in their body and these vaccines
okay.
and stuff. It's going.
I
That's
know
why
you.
people are
I know
allergic
you
to
with a
peanuts.
client right now, so I know you got to like. There's a certain
No,
line
like
that you.
like,
I understand, and I
kids-
support you.
That is not what he been saying.
nigga. Why are kids?
Them
allergic
niggas
to
is from
peanuts?
Yakub, my nigga. Hold up.
They are from the Yakub, but they still can be in the sun a little bit. They just don't have melanin.
All right.
They don't have. They have false melanin. They
And
still
they
have some
and they
melanin.
brought the rats. Don't forget that part. Them niggas brought
Well,
the
no,
rats.
they ain't just bring.
Put it
They
fine
brought
right now.
all
Let's
the
not bring
different
all that up.
Huh? You talking? What you say?
Nigga, I love y'all niggas, man. I
Brought the
promise
rats.
you. I promise you, I love y'all niggas. I promise you. I may not fuck with any other niggas. I fuck with y'all.
Oh God.
Cause y'all some
Listen.
funny ass niggas for real.
Tom, before you get all deep into that, while I was doing my shadow work earlier on some watermelon, I decided to throw some rum in it. And it's a
Oh,
beautiful
shit.
thing. Listen,
The
shadow
watermelon
work
and
with watermelon and rum. What?
That rum watermelon hit.
That rum
What's up, little
watermelon
doggy?
shadow work? Oh my goodness.
And the rum watermelon shadow work, my nigga. Hey, yo, this is what I mean by this little nigga when I was a kid. Yo, yeah. They used to light the block up with this
Listen.
dumb shit.
I
Hey,
said,
man.
you know what? I'm doing the shadow work on this watermelon. And this rum staring at me.
How the fuck do you do shadow work on watermelon?
He said, get him a
You know,
sign.
the thing
He
about
talking that shit
watermelon,
a sign.
it absorbs moisture. You know,
Moisture.
it
I'm done. I'm done. Listen,
it
man.
absorbs and
So
then
it killed your ego. The watermelon killed your ego. That's what it did.
oh, kill my ego.
The lower
Uh.
self. The watermelon killed your lower self.
Listen, speaking
No.
of ego, let's get back on track. Speaking of ego, is the ego connected to the desire to be independent, Hassan? Because you know you talk a lot about ego, and very rightfully so. Is the ego guilty of wanting to be independent when really we need dependence?
It's the ego.
Is that what is the ego the thing that pushes us to want to be independent
Yes.
when we know that we need dependence?
The ego is what connects us to be to makes us live and stuff. It's our pride and stuff in a sense. So we have to have somewhat of an ego.
Okay.
You know, we have to have somewhat of an ego. So yes, it does drive us to want to do shit alone. But
The ego
at
is
the
what
same
makes you
time-
call yourself, if you're a woman, a boss bitch. That's like some ego shit, right? Like, what you mean?
Yes.
Hey Dom, I
What
think
up?
you stepping out there because there's some dudes that's calling themselves boss bitches nowadays.
Oh, see, that's
They better not be.
on the next Geraldo. That's like, yes.
We
I
live
mean,
in a whole world now, dog. You doing a lot of forget.
You know what, Kenny? I hear you, but I'm going to
Thanks for the
revert back to
save
what the
earlier, Claudia.
Christians used to say when I was a kid. That's the world, my nigga. I'm not a part of the world. I'm not of the world. I live in this world,
You live
and
in
I'm
the
not
world,
Christian
you're
or
not of
Muslim.
it.
But I'm not of the world. Like, and that's the world like a motherfucker. I promise you, niggas talking about they want to be boss bitches. I'm not even a part of it. I don't even like that's not the sector of God I live in. I don't even live in that sector. Like, what? Yeah. But yeah, I do know of what you speak. And it's just really interesting that we celebrated our independence. Well, you know, independence was celebrated yesterday. I quite frankly like to celebrate every day. For whatever reason, I celebrate every moment on the moment. I'm alive. What you mean? Like, I don't need another man to tell me when or when not to celebrate life. But that gets into dependence, because if you don't really have your free time, then if somebody going to give you a day off, that probably does feel like a little bit of independence.
Is it independence, or is it, like I said, when I go to work and then you're telling me, okay, we're going to have the 4th off, we're going to have Juneteenth off, whether or not you celebrate it or observe it, whether or not you go and cook out for it. Sometimes it's, it's repurposing. Sometimes where some people, at Thanksgiving, and they're saying, what are you being thankful for? But you might be saying, I'm thankful that I'm alive. I'm thankful I have family that I can gather with.
True indeed. But can you be independent and be employed? Like, I find that to be the huge oxymoron, that you're celebrating independence, yet you're employed. Listen, if we're going to get down to the nitty gritty, Ken, and I know the way society is set up. Huh?
No matter what you do, you relying on somebody. When I sold real estate, yeah, I in my mind, I can say I'm my own boss. But if nobody buy a house from me,
it's problematic.
I'm dependent on someone saying, yes, I'll purchase that house.
So let's try it like this. No, I get it. I get that. And we're definitely talking about within the context of this matrix. Let's try it like this. Let's say we have no electricity. So we've already taken a bunch of shit off the grid. No electricity. You own a little hut or house, and you have a plot of land where you can grow vegetables. Remember, no electricity. This is about 200 years ago. You own a plot of land, you can grow vegetables, and you kind of run your roost. Like, that's your little world. Now, outside of being independent, outside of being dependent on nature for the crops to come back, etc., which is dependence, that's a pretty boss life. No?
It is, but then you're dependent on yourself.
Yeah.
Like Cronus was saying, if you don't get up, you don't eat. When you like that off the land, if you make the mistake on when I planted, I waited too late to plant this season, so now my crop ain't growing right. I pulled too early. I didn't water it enough.
So it also requires you to be intelligent. You must depend on your intelligence to get through. You must have a degree of intelligence to even be able to fathom living like that, right? Because the grid that we live on, it allows us to let down our hair. Like, I ain't got to worry about the groceries. I can go around the corner.
It allows us to say, man, I didn't go shopping this week. It's 4 feet of snow out there.
Right.
Let me plow through that. I'm sure the market got something.
And because we live in the Jetsons, actually today, right now, it allows us to say, Amazon Prime, send me over my groceries.
Without a doubt. But there was a time where, like you said, you didn't pick up that bow arrow axe.
You ain't eating.
You didn't pick up that plow.
Ain't no sustenance.
So it's definitely
and that was independent. So did we not like independence when we had our own plot of land and when we were able to, and I'm not even talking about us in this country, I'm talking about when we were back in Kemet or Africa. Like, did we not like that? Were we not satisfied with independence of that nature, that we needed to grow into cities?
Well, someone sold us on modernization. So all of a sudden, someone told you, you know what? I can make life easier for you. You don't have to plow the field every day. You don't have to walk 8 miles to get water. I can
just take this number. Take this social security number when you're born. Take this number, this barcode, and you'll be fine.
I'm gonna tell you what really happened. Somebody sold us on the whole thing about Jesus. That's what changed everything. About the Christianity came to.
How did Jesus get into this? Why are you always Why are you always banging on Jesus, my nigga?
Because you made a statement like out of Africa, because we were in Africa, and then the Olmecs and stuff came to America many centuries ago. They came to America and they built up America. All the black people, Olmecs was in America, South America, North America.
We see that.
That's where they were.
Yeah, we see that.
And we had our own
looking like Kenny. Them statues looking straight like Kenny.
Well, let me ask a question. So
yes, The Olmecs. You can look up the Olmecs. It ain't a top secret. They all know about it.
What I'm going to ask you is, so the Anunnaki only dug in one spot, or did they?
They were in Samaria.
Did they put us? I mean, you have this whole.
We were everywhere. The black people.
One small spot.
The so-called black people were all across this whole diaspora. It was on indigenous to every part of the landmass.
And then, Kenny, if we're gonna get technical, Pangea has all the land masses being one at one point. So it's not as if like they could have been here and it could have been one landmass and created us one. And then as the thing broke up, we were a part of the breakup. As
up down, it broke up.
Well, listen, you do see that the nations, the countries of the world look like they can fit together like a puzzle. You do see that, right? You've seen that. No?
Without a doubt. What I'm saying is
so and they call that Pangea. They say that at one point they were together. The tectonic plates were all together. So you could argue that far back then the Anunnaki wasn't dealing with a planet that had different land mass. It was all
the
one.
Anunnaki came and left. They only here for a certain period of time and then they leave. They come back. They always come back during the Great Reset.
Oh,
that's when they come back.
2,400 years.
This is this period right now. They always come back for the Great Reset.
So you saying they coming back?
Yeah, they coming back. The pole
So
shift.
are we gonna be independent? Can we count on independence from them, or are we gonna be dependent on them?
Hell no, you got gold to dig. You got gold to dig.
Better than dig. Having gold to dig is better than doing what we're doing right now, to be very honest. I'll tell you that. Because
what are we doing right now?
Still have royalty.
Is
We're not doing nothing. We have no sense of self.
So in other words, you're saying Chris would be better off digging some gold right now than sitting over here talking
with
about
no sense of self. Listen, the most melanated people have no sense of self. They don't have no idea about the Olmecs. They all want to be Bloods. They don't want to have no higher consciousness at all. And so if you want people to take us seriously, you have to take yourself seriously first. You have to have love and you have to live like a god and stuff and know that you have value. So,
I smoke all of that. I smoke a bag of all of that. Chris, did you hear anything that was wrong?
No.
Cronus, did you hear anything in that soliloquy that was wrong?
No.
But one thing I was going to say is the people, the doctrine of discovery was brought to the people, and they brought this religion to them, and they figured they talked whatever they was talking about Jesus and Sky Daddy and all that stuff, and they thought, hey, we're gonna embrace that. Maybe that could take us, even though they had magic and all this stuff, and they believed the land was magical and stuff like that. There were some people who still got sold on the Sky Daddy.
Was it under the force of the gun though? Like, did they get sold that basically because I'm gonna kill you if you don't get down and lay down kind of vibe?
Let's be
That
smart
was
about
not
all
the crusade. Wasn't the Crusades like that? The Christian Crusade?
That was over there in the Khazars and shit like that.
Okay.
That's in the Khazar mountains. They had the Crusades. Okay. But let's be smart. If you are a whole land and it's only you and your people and friends on this land is all of you, you think some people that'll come over here and gonna beat you on your land? You think with their guns they gonna beat you? When you can hide and do all this stuff, they gonna beat you? So they sold this story that they beat us, and everybody believed that bullshit. They didn't beat us. What happened is skin folk who are kinfolk sold each other out.
Woo!
They didn't beat us.
Chris, did you hear
that?
They got
Chris? Sold out. They got sold out by people who look
Chris,
like
did you hear that? Did you hear that? That's deep. The man said,
if you think about it, it's impossible for somebody to come to your house and beat you in your own house.
The man said Europe came over here with their ships and tried to enslave and debo indigenous people. And the man said, you can't come to somebody else's crib. They know in their crib, they know in the ins and outs, they know where the alleys are, they know where the basement is. You can't come to their crib and beat them at their crib. He's saying that some of us linked up with some of them, and that's how it happened. And you know what? In my recent history with some folk that look like me and you, that just went rogue for no reason at all. I ain't do nothing to these folk, but they just decided to turn devilish on the God. I know that to be true. I know that perfectly cool people can all of a sudden turn and be on some, I don't mess with you, and work with the other folks. So what he's saying, I've actually experienced in my own lifetime. Could that possibly be what had happened in this context, that the Europeans really just had us to help them out in their independence?
You know who the Europeans are?
Yeah.
The Europeans are the Moors. You understand that, right? The Moors is the one who beat the Native American, who swindled the indigenous Americans. The Moors did all that shit. If you understand, the Moors
and
the black
people
nobility.
Understand Moors are people of melanation, of melanin.
The black nobility, which are the Moors, are the one that did all this stuff.
So you saying they did it for the queen? What are you saying, bro? Come on,
they
man.
did. There was a part of the religion. All that stuff is a part of them. They want to control everything. Education comes from the Moors. The Caucasians didn't teach them nothing. They taught the Caucasians everything. They taught them how religion and stuff. Religion doesn't come from white people.
Well, let me ask
None of
this
that.
question. If we were non-independent people digging gold, could we have decided, I want to flee away from this burdensome life of digging gold and decided?
They did.
Oh,
They did. They decided to leave, and that's when the Anunnaki left. The Anunnaki don't stay here on this planet. They leave.
no, what I'm saying is, before the Anunnaki left, would some people have said, you know what?
I want my independence.
I want my independence.
That's
I want
the GGs did do that. That's what they did.
I want to be free from having to dig this gold. I don't want to dig gold today. I want to pull out some linoleum and drop some moves off.
Yeah.
And the Anunnaki saying, nah, I need that gold right now.
Hey, Chris, don't do it. Don't do
And
it.
they saying, nah, you know what? Before you drop that beat, I need you to go get that gold.
Right.
Before you put the rap down, I need you to get that gold.
Before you lay your verse.
Before you lay your verse, go get that gold.
Go get that gold right. So in other words, we've been fighting for independence the whole time. If you're telling me that the Anunnaki brought us here to mine the gold for their atmosphere, Hassan, that means that niggas been fighting for an independent holiday since day one.
Well, they did have their period of independence for a long time. There was no white people around. There was nothing but indigenous folk. They lived for 7,000 years and they transcended. You need to listen. You got my bad.
Yeah.
I didn't
Michael Jackson make a song about this?
Don't matter if it's black or white.
I mean, and this was Michael Jackson was an Asian woman at the time when he made that song.
Man, he was an Asian
so if
woman.
we were always dependent, or made to be dependent, do you blame anyone to say, I just want to take one day and celebrate and fall back?
Way to flip it around, because when you think about it, this whole shit is dependence. And maybe that's what the fantasy is that we could be independent, because that really is more of a fantasy than a reality. Nigga, we need each other. What do you mean? Like, it don't even matter. Like, even if you live off the grid by yourself, you need the nature. You need the air to breathe. And you need yourself to be of sound mind and body, like Hassan said, so that you know when to plant crops.
Here's something, Dom. Even if you're independent and out there and growing your own crops, and at what point do you become too old to do that? Now,
I promise you, I'm there right now. I'm too old right now to be planting crops and no.
Dom, I'm gonna let you know. I was trying to cut grass today. I had semi-retired from grass. My nephew been doing it.
Yeah.
He had a little accident, so I tried to get out there today myself.
Yeah.
I know now why I went into retirement.
Oh yeah. You know, now Hassan and Chris, they giggling because these is workout ass niggas. You know what I'm saying? And they think oh, I can mow the lawn. I just got off the canyon. I just walked a mile down the canyon. I can mow the lawn. Oh yeah, I lift 374 pounds. I can mow.
Now I'm sitting up there like, man, I go to work. Let me pay somebody to do it. And these young boys came by. I said, did y'all hear my spirit cry out? Because they throw down. I said, yo, man. And they did that thing in about a little more than a half hour. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm done. I think
Yeah.
I think the grass cutting game then went by me.
I've retired myself from certain activities. Listen, I'm fine with my retirement. There's certain activities that I've just retired from.
Or you're fine being dependent on certain things.
That's a thing. That's a thing.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because with the equipment I had today,
Selective dependence.
I'd still be out there.
Selective dependence is what I have.
Wow.
Nigga Kenny
Like
that
that-
came
like
up with
how-
the whole goddamn
how-
serum. Everything
how
is
cats
selective
is-
out this bitch.
Yeah, like how cats is dependent now. Because remember, before when you had the motor lawn, you had just that wheel with the
Oh,
thing.
that will. You had to use that
But then-
power.
Right, but then they kind of got the gasoline chainsaw rip.
Oh, yeah.
But now they got a little joint you
got a
can
John
drive.
Deere.
Yeah, you
You
can
can drive
drive.
that thing around. Well, I think Kenny's still talking about the push kind for some reason.
No, my man, I had my electric, my
Okay.
electric out there, which wasn't cutting it. It literally wasn't cutting.
Wasn't cutting it.
Boy came out with the gas. Like, let me show you
John
something.
Deere.
Youthful Energy,
Yeah.
that business. Now
And
it's
I'm
more
fine
than
with
one.
that. Kenny, I'm with you. I'm fine. I'm an elder statesman. I done lived some life. I done lived a lot of life. I'm fine. Go ahead, child. Handle that.
Handle
Listen,
that.
man.
What you
Listen,
mean?
we depend on cell phones to tell us what time it is. Before that, it was the digital clock. Before that, it was the analog clock.
Wow.
Before that, it was the sundial.
Sundial.
Right. You know what
Wow.
I'm saying?
So we're dependent species.
Yeah.
Even though we on I'm a boss bitch and I'm independent. I'm independent. How you independent? You're a woman even. How you independent? Listen, if you want a family, you need me to supply the resource. Tell me when I'm lying.
Oh, you're lying. That's not true.
Up there it is.
Wow.
They got something called parthenogenesis, where
Listen.
women used to have kids without men. Parthenogenesis.
Gesundheit. I ain't talking about nobody's technology. I'm talking about the way it's supposed to be. If a
No.
woman has a baby,
The way
she gotta holler
it's
at your
supposed
boy.
to be. No. I'm gonna say it one more time. Before men were even invented,
Uh-oh.
women came first. It's
Uh-oh.
called
This nigga Chris-
parthenogenesis. Look it up.
This nigga Chris eyebrows crunched when you said
Parthenogenesis.
men were invented.
Time.
His shit crunched. His eyebrows crunched.
Time.
Listen, women were able to have offsprings without men. It's called parthenogenesis. Parthenogenesis. Look it up.
Okay.
Tell me if I'm lying, I'm flying.
Listen. We know that some female species, even to this moment on planet Earth, have babies alone. What do they call that? They call that asexual. They have, I think, seahorses don't have males. It's all female. They just have the babies by themselves, dead ass. So we know that's a real phenomenon.
I'm talking about we're not having sperm at all. You talk about sperm. They still have to have sperm. But as you talking about,
bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know exactly how seahorses reproduce. But when I watch the documentary, there is no partner. There's no partner. They produce on their own.
Now, I thought the women give the eggs to the male and
to
he
the
carries.
man. Yes. He carries the male. He carries the seed, the male.
See this crazy shit. That would make the man a female. That just sounds as crazy as the alphabet people. What?
The thing is, it ain't too much that's men need women, women need men. It's as simple as that. We are dependent on each other.
Bong bong.
This is 100% true. You need companionship, 100%. That's why people get dogs sometimes, but I don't know why they do that.
Yeah. Well, yo, man. Happy Independence. Let's go around the room. All right. Chris, Cronus the Ill, man. Tell them where they can find you being independent in your life.
You ain't gonna find me nowhere being independent. I'm gonna be dependent. Well, actually, nah. You catch me in the gym independently benching. I need to know spotter.
You ain't benching independently. You need them weights. You need them weights. Don't do that. You depend on the weights to get the bulk. You need the weights.
Yeah, but I'm talking about pushing the weight.
Are you pushing that weight? Oh, that's a whole other thing. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't depend.
Yeah.
Catch me out there getting busy. KRONISTHEILL. Cronus the Ill on all your socials, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. What's the other one? TikTok. I think I haven't TikToked yet, but I think I got one video TikToking. But most part, catch me on there getting busy. Papa Squat, Jim Johnson, Bench Montana, Squat
Bench
Sensei.
Montana.
Yeah, the walking deadlift, all that. You know what I'm saying?
AKA this nigga, Kenny Mickens.
Listen,
where can they find you, bro?
Catch me doing shadow work.
Hey, yo, you need to knock it off.
With this rum watermelon shadow work.
Rum watermelon shadow work, my nigga. I gotta get into that. Hold up. That shit sound right.
I'm truly right. That watermelon is invigorating.
Yeah, it is.
Without the rum. I do the rum. I did that today, but mostly without the rum. That was the last little.
That's why you couldn't mow the lawn, boy. That rum caught up.
You gotta mix that rum with the weed juice, cuz they probably
we live, we
love. I took that watermelon rind.
We rum. Whoa, that's a new product.
Yeah,
we rum. Hey, look at the sign.
It sounds like now I'm dependent on that.
All right, so look, sign, man. We live, we love, we juice, we rum. What's good?
That's right. WeJuice.com. Get your fruits, get your vegetables, get your juices, get your hydration. Don made a comment that we need water, but we really do not.
Oh.
We need fruit. Okay? We need fruit for hydration. Water doesn't hydrate us, so we can go a whole year without drinking water.
I know that sounds crazy. That sounds crazy. And is that good health advice? You see?
Yes, it's good health. Your body's not made of your body's not made of H2O.
Say what, Kenny? What you say, Kenny?
Made of H3O2.
We call it juice, but it's really water mixed with the fruit, isn't it?
Yeah, there's water in it, right, Hassan? I mean, it has water naturally.
It has H3O2, not H2O.
Okay.
H3O2. Our body is made up of H3O2. We made up the fruit water. Our body it's not made up of H2O.
Are you telling me that's why I've lived this long when, sad to say, I don't drink a lot of water, but I drink a ton of juice. Are you telling me that's why I'm still alive? Because I drink juice?
Well, are you drinking natural juices or some fucked up juices?
Probably the fucked up kind. I mean, I'm dependent. Yeah. You see, everything circles back. I'm dependent on the local Ralph's. And Ralph's got the sweet, fucked up kind, but it's delicious.
That stuff got sugar in it, and it fucks up your body.
Yeah,
I hate to tell you that.
That's why every now and then I try to holler at the weed juice boy, but he all the way in Pasadena. Tell them where they can find weed juice at, brother.
WeedJuice.com. OUIJUICE.
Yeah.
Yeah, home deliveries. We deliver to you. Order online. It gets there 2 days.
What you rocking with this week?
What's the specials this week?
The special, man. What's the detox? I just had the detox apple zang.
Nice.
I had drunk it before, I got approached the promotion because I needed for the hydration because I just went on this walk. So cucumber and coconut's the highest form of hydration. Cucumber.
Okay.
So you can always just grab a cucumber and eat it.
Hey, do me a favor. Say what? Cucumber. Say cucumber.
No.
No. We're going to show with this. We're going to show this. Say cucumber, my nigga.
Cucumber.
Listen, can I put weed juice in my cereal, or do I gotta like?
And all that
pour the weed juice first. You got pour the weed juice first.
Nigga. Hey, guess what? Y'all talking shit, but
I'm frozen.
Hey, Yvette also high-sided what I said. She pours her milk first and put the cereal in. Okay? So ask a woman.
First of all, let me just say this. What? Don't nobody know who Yvette is. That's number one. Okay. That's number one. Just like Yvette who. Number two, okay. You talking about a person that used to work for NASA. She done seen aliens. She done seen all kinds of crazy stuff. She out her mind too. You live in Pasadena. She worked in Pasadena at NASA. Both of y'all crazy, bro. Huh? On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you again next week for another grand installation of Opinion Nation. Tell them what's up, fellas. Peace.
Be independent.